Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me once again. And we're in the garage for this one. Good to see you all. I've been following along like any other concerned person in this country over the last week or two, what's been going on in our streets. And we're in a situation at the moment where, quite frankly, it's pretty scary. There's rumours abound all over the place about possible other protests, possible other riots, numbering in the hundreds, which could potentially take place over the next day or two. The standing advice from many a content creator that I've seen is stay away, because they'll be completely unpredictable. They're not organised by any rational body, and they certainly don't have agreement or approval from the police, and it's just going to flare up even more. The mainstream media, of course, have taken this narrative and run with it. As we've seen over recent days, we've seen hashtag Farage riots trending on social media, and we've seen other well-known personalities get the blame for what's going on and the influence for what's going on. And I think with government, they are completely missing the point. They are completely not reading the room, and they don't get what's actually pissing us all off. It's quite obvious what the elephant in the room is. Now, I saw a tweet earlier where Nigel Farage was driving around in his chauffeur-driven car, and he drew criticism for it. Because of the aforementioned hate that has been stirred up against him, the bloke's had to up his security, and it's not safe to go anywhere unless he's driven. It's not rocket science, is it? Now, if we turn our attention back to the mainstream media, they have played a big part in this, in stirring up that hatred, stirring up that narrative, and making us believe things that may or may not necessarily be true. One of the outlets I want to zero in on is GBNEWS. GBNEWS, of course, was the People's Channel, and they have drawn a lot of criticism from content creators, myself included, and other members of the public. Now, I did a video on them a few days back, which was entitled GBNEWS Threw Us Under the Bus. And it was based on the footage that I saw of somebody calling out Islamophobia within hours, if not a couple of days, of the tragic events that befell those in Stockport. And I was disgusted, and I thought, why has this individual been allowed that airtime? Now, that video did quite well. And as I keep saying, I want to address some of your comments because they're important. That's what keeps the channel going. And I thought that would be a good one to have a look through. So let's pull this up and have a look. Before I start reading them, can I ask, please, that you hit the like button on the channel, hit the like button on this video, because it certainly helps the algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm absolutely astonished at the numbers. I really am astonished, and I appreciate it very much. Anyway, let's have a look. Hugh Williams: do not trust anyone with money. They always want more, and when the bus comes by, when it suits them, under you go. Yeah, I like the way you put that. It must be said that most of the demonstrators threw themselves under a bus with their own actions. Violence. Well, yes, I agree with both parts there. Money talks, bullshit walks, as the saying goes. And, you know, those in power will soon have the ability to put you where they want you. And as for them throwing themselves under it, yeah, it's the minority that have hijacked this and have gone out kicking off, setting fire to things. They really haven't done themselves or the overall message any favours, and that is why we have the issue that we have now, where everything's far right, everyone's going to get nicked, and the problem isn't going to be addressed. Patricia Drury: I agree, Islam is the problem. Get them all out. There's, you know, I have a couple of mates who are of that demographic, and they came here and they did things the right way. They work hard, they have children, they pay a mortgage and everything else, and they're fully integrated members of society. And it's those I feel for. I did a video a little while ago where I said about a lady that lives very local to me that runs a local food bank. She just wants to help people at the end of the day. And she got attacked because of the demographic she belongs to. And there is a large majority who are entering unchecked. And there is a definite integration problem. And we are being overwhelmed all of the time, completely overwhelmed. And, you know, what's it led to? Check the news. It's not great. And that's an understatement. Michael, why did the Pakistan state come along in 1948? Because of tensions between Hindus and Muslims. I must admit, I didn't know that. Bit of history. We have no issues with Hindus, Sikhs or Buddhists. It's a way of life. Afro-Caribbean, etc., and genuine asylum seekers. You know what? We don't. I mean, we've had a proud history of them coming here and starting businesses and starting families, and it's a multi-generation thing, isn't it? And you know, they all get tarred. Rebel Ruth. I don't know why GBNEWS have this ridiculous woman on. She's clearly unhinged. Yeah, you have a thing where you have to have an equal argument on both sides, the right and the left. But the left tend to go down the route of, oh, let's be kind, let's not be cruel to, you know, and it's completely disjointed, and they don't seem to be able to understand or read the room. And when I saw this footage and the timing of it and what this lady said, I thought, yeah, it's no. That's what enticed me to do the video in the first place. User, the female presenter, has always been the left-wing point of view on GBNEWS. I think it gives them a more even-handed argument about what's going on. They can't be classed as just right-wing thugs then, perhaps, and be closed down by Starmer as a terrorist organisation. The inmates are running the asylum for sure. Yeah, I suppose they've got to put that balanced point of view in because of off-communist, haven't they? Because they keep getting complaints. John May, all wars are the result of stupid politicians. This is no different. I'm surprised there hasn't been big violence until now. Uncontrolled immigration can only bring confrontation, especially when it comes to religion. We'll never live with Muslims. You know, it's a cooking pot, isn't it? And it's been building and building and building and building, and finally it's here, isn't it? People have had enough and coming to the streets. I very much see where you are coming from. Richard Lyons, the woman should be removed from GBNEWS. I certainly think she should think before she speaks. User again, his deputy PM is a direct representative whilst he is on holiday. Yes, there was talk of him going on holiday. I'm not sure if he did go. I really don't. He speaks through her. She speaks with his guidance. Doesn't matter where he is in the world. The country is his responsibility. So he cannot claim it is not his fault. Scottish geezer here, folks. If a family hire a babysitter, then it's the babysitter's responsibility to carry out instructions given by the parents. Too true. So the PM can't avoid the responsibility. No, he's very much accountable for everything he says and everything he does, as we're proving. The same person, let's hope Starmer also convicts and condemns the non-right-wing thugs that rioted in Hare Hills, Leeds. They should be regarded and named as right-wing. Not local community activists, as the Home Secretary stated. Yeah, I mean, Sir Mark Rowley came on the news earlier. There was a video of this online where he's saying there's no two-tier policing and trying to justify their actions, but the law just doesn't appear to be, delved out equally. You look at the situation in Manchester, what happened in the airport. They've still not been charged yet. Now look at what's happening with other areas and the speed that the justice is dished out. It doesn't make any sense. Angela's deputy dog while Starman's away. Yeah. She, S. Gibson, she's not a presenter. Nobody in their right mind listens to Thick Amy. She thinks a man can have a baby. Enough said. Oh, God. Yes, a couple of people have said she wasn't a presenter. That's my mistake. She was on there presenting a situation as she sees it. So I termed her as a presenter. Maybe I was mistaken. She AJG 007. She's only presenting the other view to satisfy Ofcom. Everything I've seen from GB News has been supportive of the people's view. Christopher Clarkson. Hello, Starmer is better off out the way before he makes things worse. He should have taken his government with him. All he had to do was stop the boats. I mean, there's another video that I brought out this evening, and it was titled along the lines of Starmer must do this. And all he's gone and done is condemned everybody that's gone out on the streets. And let's face it, while we have a very big problem with regard to violence and vandalism and everything else, initially it was just concerned mums and dads and members of the community saying we're concerned about what's happening to our children. All of a sudden then, look what's happened. Look what's happened. Morris, she's a bit too left-wing, not the general character of GB News. Oh, God, some people are, there's some things at the left I agree with, and there's some things at the right I agree with. But you can go so far to one side, can't you? It makes my teeth itch. What's that? HK Monaro, if I said that correctly. Wouldn't be surprised to see the same here in Australia soon. Our pathetic government brought 110,000 people here in July alone, and the vast majority from black and brown countries that are haters. I'm surprised at that comment. I thought you had a handle on the whole thing. Is it going the other way? Be interested to hear more. Trivet 472. Amy lives in a world of pink clouds and thinks the world is run by bunny rabbits. That is hardly somebody you take the word of. Poon, Andy, why you're such a far-right white supremacist Nazi who hates immigrants and people of colour. Oh, here we go. There's always one, isn't there? Right, let's get this out of the way, shall we? I figured there'd be one comment. I'm not a far-right white supremacist. I've never considered myself a far-right white supremacist, whatever you call it. I come from a conservative family, believe it or not. And, my parents were always conservative voting, and that's how I started. My father, a policeman, and he was in the army before that. So I was brought up with discipline, respect, a sense of, pride for my country I live in, treating everybody how I wish to be treated myself, and trying to help people, trying to get on and make a good life. And I very much value the values that we have, or the values that we should have as a country. Now, if somebody from another country turned around and said, I want to go and live in England, the land of opportunity, and they had the skills and, they had the financial means to provide for society. As I said, I have a couple of friends that I can think of straight away who have just done that. No problem. But when you get a situation where you get floods and floods and floods and floods of people coming here on a daily basis, let's face it, daily basis, there's no identification. We don't know where they've come from, the circumstances, and what they intend to do when they get here, and how they're going to support themselves, where they're going to go, what they're going to do. That, to me, is where the line is drawn. That doesn't make me a white supremacist. That makes me concerned for my country, concerned for my family, and concerned for the opportunities of everybody else here. While I agree that, a culture can be enriched by, people coming in, it's the same as if I up sticks and move somewhere else. Yes, fine, but with what we've got at the moment, it's completely out of control. Now, if you want to call me a far-right white supremacist because of the way I feel, be my guest. But you need to take a step back from your political ideals and look at the situation and then talk to me. Necessarium Smith 7795. That's a hell of a mouthful. She's a paid pundit. Let's put the comment back on the screen. She's a paid pundit, as is Mike Parry, sitting opposite, who is there to take an opposing view. I think you'll find after a bit of research, if you have the time, that due to the current situation, Keir Starmer hasn't gone on holiday. He was chairing a Cobra meeting yesterday. Absolutely. I mean, that comment was a bit out of date, and I remember making that comment in the video. Anyway, just passing through. Never let facts get in the way of a good clickbait title. Is a good policy to gain views. Keep it up. Have a great day. Oh my God, two of them in the same block on the screen. But thank you very much. Roy Leon, we have to face it. The once dependable, reliable GB News is just another member, the MSM. My unanswerable question is, who funds the MSM? Big bucks. Yes, I think you're right there. And you look at its origins too. Neil Freeman, who's to say these real far-right rioters aren't being paid by Labour to cause trouble and make Tommy look bad? Resign now, Starmer. Oh, there's a little bit about Tommy in the news at the moment, isn't there? Where he's been effectively doxxed while he's been on holiday, and the Cypriot police are saying they stand ready to arrest him. Well, I read somewhere he's not in Cyprus anymore, so I don't know how they're going to manage that. Jim W., GB News is a farce. Farage is a petrochemical-backed politician. Why can't you see that? He hasn't. His hatred of net zero, backed by an Asian businessman. Where's the evidence? Prove it. There's all of this stuff going around all the time. Yes, he's of wealth. Richard Tice is of wealth. Have a look at my live yesterday where I talked with Noel Wilcox, and he knows Richard Tice personally. You've got what goes on in the background and the reality of the situation behind closed doors, and a lot of assumptions get made. And I think that's what causes a lot of the problem. P1507 Tricker. Clacton wanted to riot, but we couldn't decide on the flavour of milkshake. Oh, my God. Okay. Mazel Health. She's blonde through and through, too lazy to do any form of journalism. She's what Americans, I think, would term a talking head, just there to give an opinion, whether it's a right one or a wrong one. A couple of more comments. Hidden information, 8661. Soon as they kissed the pedo king's butt, it was obvious. Thank you for that. Angela Warren. Oh, that was the woman I watched. She made my blood boil. I turned off. Could not listen to her. Nigel Alderley. Why do you walk around when you were talking? The lady on GB News is not a presenter. Get your facts right. Also, the PM has not gone away on holiday. Well, I walk around when I'm talking because I want to give a bit of variety. I sit in my car as well. I sit in the garage. It just mixes it up a bit. Yes, I know the lady on GB News is not a presenter. I misspoke. Apologies for that. But I looked and she was, presenting an opinion. So I just took it she was a presenter. Also, the PM has not gone on holiday. Yeah, I know. He daren't. Absolutely. Robert Parkinson, 6919. That presenter is employed by GB News to wind people up. There's a couple more, Benjamin Button and another male presenter, or should I say agitator. They are there to annoy. Well, I think they're there to give some balance to the opinion going on, aren't they? Really, that's what it's all about. Well, there's a very nice balance of comments there, and I enjoyed reading them out, seeing what your opinion is at the end of the day. There was a couple of people in there that wanted to have a pop, and that's fine. You do that in a respectful way. I'll respond in kind. Absolutely. Well, thank you. I want to do more of these. We used to do far more of them, but the way things go in the background with this channel and everything, it's easy to just kind of go down the line. But I want to give you more appreciation and more feedback, and we'll try and do some more of these as we go. Again, thank you very much for the support for the channel. I think we're probably about 5,000 off the 100K. I just can't believe it, and the views and the numbers and everything else have gone absolutely mad. So I very much appreciate all of your time and all of your care. Please make sure you hit the like button, share this on your social medias, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.